you can hear me. I might get my headset. Have it with me. Have to make do. Okay, came on to do a reading. Let's see what the energies are like this fine day. So this reading has been sitting in me for a few days now. I have been just percolating on it. I'm going to actually do a longer post in my other YouTube channel because the energy that's coming out right now is just really for intense souls that have been working on this journey for a long time, and they're really coming into all of their spiritual gifts and capacities. So I've talked about different clairvoyant channels before. I've talked about clairvoyance, right? Psychic sight, clairsentience, clairaudience, but also like there's layers within that clairvoyancy too, right? There's like the emotional intuitive who reads people's emotions and can calm them down and can use them in their healing work or their therapy touch work. Then there's the intellectual intuitive that they actually translate for the emotional intuitives. They can help with the words and the thought processes and the structures, and we're all meant to complement each other and be working together, right? Because we're bringing back Atlantean and Lemurian connected community, and not even Atlantean and Lemurian were the ancient societies in even ancient Egypt that had it here. But those come from other planets. Other planets have connected society. That's where we came from. That's why so many starseeds are lonely right now. And so the collective I'm talking to is probably gonna hear banging because people are moving around me, but the collective that I'm talking to, you're these advanced souls that have been practicing all your clairvoyant capacities, and now they're coming next level. But some of you are going to feel right now really disconnected from your spiritual practices and from the mainstream spirituality because you're being called to embody things, and you're being called to embody it in the physical and just literally burst spirit into creation around you, which means also to enjoy your humanity, enjoy your human life, enjoy pleasure, enjoy rest. Also, if you've seen my last few readings, there's this major recalibration going through our nervous systems. Like I have had hip and back pain like nobody's business, and I can't even remember the last time I had this like without some sort of physical trigger, just out of nowhere. But this is the sacral chakra and the root chakra healing, but then we're also being challenged. So like say psychic attack, for instance, we're getting a lot of psychic attack, but what is psychic attack? Well, psychic attack happens for a few reasons. Now, the collective I'm talking to, you're going to be a really advanced soul. You're going to mirror what I do. You're going to be really connected to ascended masters, really connected to angels. You're going to have a crazy intuition. You might be Akashic records keepers. You're just going to do various levels of high integrated spiritual work. And sometimes, if you think about it, okay, you'll be out. Maybe some of you actually work in corporate fields, or you work in healing modalities where you're actually connected and around hundreds of people in a day, and no one's energy can infiltrate you. Your energy is so strong. But then you'll get a session, or you'll clear something off of somebody, and then all of a sudden you're psychically attacked, and it's like what? How can this happen? Some of you might even be experiencing physical psychic attack that you know is coming from the energy realms, and you're like, what the heck is that? Now, psychic attack, when it infiltrates a strong energy field where you already have boundaries, is a call to make more boundaries. It's also a call to check your weak spots. Your weak spots are where they can get in. So I just got this book, so this might be a calling for some of you. Such a freaking good book. And then I do theta healing. So I look in here at the physical symptoms because it connects the emotional and the psychological patterns from this reincarnation. But you might, like I said, you're going through a past life complete overhaul of your nervous system. So this might even pertain to past lives that you're experiencing. You might have emotional cellular trauma looping in there. So I find this and then I theta track it out. And it's so powerful because then what happens is in that psychic attack, they're only able to infiltrate your energy field at the points where you have the weak spots, the shadow aspects within yourselves, the emotional healings, the wounds or the unforgiveness or the hurts that you are still nursing that are deep, deep, deep in your psychic layers or in your body layers, physical, mental, emotional. It could be in any one of those layers, right? Because all of those layers make up the bodies: mental body, physical body, emotional body. And what it is even the psychic attack, I would really like us to get out of calling it protection or calling it evil or calling it dark, even though it can be, because everything is creator. So creator is actually calling you to call in your own strength And that's why this is showing up for you. That's how it got in. It got in through these weak spots. And it's actually a call for you to clean up your field. Because as you actually track these things and heal them, you reclaim all the parts of yourself. So you show up with more power, more presence, more beauty, more glow. And you magnetize everything to you, because in all of that, it naturally balances out your masculine and your feminine energy. And then that starts to translate into opportunity in your experience. It starts to translate into money. It starts to translate into love. It starts to translate into higher connection, right? It becomes all of this good energy embodied because you're showing up fully as yourself. And then layers of the matrix system or the overculture programming, like doubt or fear, or disembodiment or disempowerment, all of that starts to strip away, and you start to become unaffected because you're just moving through the flow of life, and you don't actually have to be pulled by it and be pulled into different things or be holding yourself back. It ends self-sabotage patterns. And so the ones that I'm talking to are going through this right now. You're refining your psychic capacity system, and you're really refining, and as you work on your clairvoyant channels, you're going to have a few, one or two at least, that are very predominant, but as you work on them, they're all going to develop and start to work together depending on the levels within which you clear your system, within which you clear your body. So taking cell foods like activated chia, taking spirulina, chlorella, you really want to be caring for your body temple at the same time as enjoying your human experience, but really trying to clear out parasites from the body, clear out candida, because all of those are energetic implants that are blocking the energetic flow of your being and your soul trying to connect to the physical parts of you. And all of that stuff was like somewhat done on purpose. So as we reverse it by working out, because exercise and movement, whatever that looks like for you, is also moving these energies through the body so you don't have the stuck energy, right? And then if you have a psychic attack going on, where, like, say, okay, so I talked about my back and my hip, for instance. So that is the root chakra, and that is the sacral chakra being repaired right now. I am being called to step into more of myself and to release the layers of things that have been holding me back, lies I've been carrying about myself, pain that I've been holding maybe, or competition I've been holding against authority figures, lies that you tell yourself that just aren't true because we're trying to be humble. That's like a matrix trap going on. So it's really, really beautiful, the energy right now, even if it's challenging. But the thing is, the collective I'm talking to too, I know you can feel, like you can hear in my energy, I'm so excited because we have big things coming in. Whatever you've been calling in, it's coming. And I can feel you, you're thanking creator, you're like every moment, even when their challenge arises, you're like, nope, this is working in my favor. Everything is for my highest good. Everything is aligning. Everything is always happening for me. And then also I can feel you have to surrender control in this energy right now. That's been really hard. And trust the plan. And I can feel you even doing that. So one of my beautiful friends talked about having a challenge in her life, and what she did is she carried around a jar of mustard seeds. And I loved that idea, so I did the same thing. So even on the days that it feels really hard and nothing is working out, I want you to remember everything that you have gone through and all the darkest, hardest times that you went through, but you realized later that Creator was always guiding you. Creator was always holding you. Your angels were always there. Because sometimes as we consciously become aware of all our spiritual capacities and we get a language for it and we get an identity around it, we can be hard on ourselves when things aren't manifesting in the timeline that we think that they should be. And then if they're not manifesting in the timeline that we think that it should be, we can be like, oh, we're not good at manifesting. Why hasn't this come in yet? There's a lot of that energy coming up because it's meant to be let go of and cleared. You have perfect divine timing. You are a co-pilot. You are a co-creator with Creator. So we do wait on divine timing. In that waiting, in that fortitude, you are meant to prep yourself. You are meant to fall in love with yourself. You are meant to know yourself. And the deeper that you go with this, like, what is it that I like? What is it that I need? What is it that I want? What is my vision? Build out the energetic containers to hold whatever you're calling in. If it's love, do you have space for love? Do you have capacity for love? Or are you still kind of fighting with yourself and demasculating men, let's say, or defeminizing women? Are you allowing capacity for the things that you want in? Are you going to be able to hold them? Are you going to be able to normalize them? That's what this downtime is for. In the waiting for it to come, we are called to have patience. We're called to let go of control. And if you look right now, look at this. The cat, healthy boundaries, right? The cat, my cat is so loving and so sweet, but she also just wants to do her own thing sometimes. She wants to just go, and she just knows she's loved. She doesn't worry about me not loving her. You know, she just does her own thing, and she's so beautiful about it. Speaking of that sweet girl, she's so beautiful about it because she just knows her inherent value. You know, look at nature. Look at like a bird or a crow or an eagle or a hawk, and just look how confident they sit, because they just know who they are. They know where they're going. This is what's being called of you in this time, is to get your confidence. Believe in who you are. You are the prize. You are the treasure. You are the center of your universe, and what are you creating? The other thing about this that we're being called is to expand our energy. So there's laws of the universe that allow our magnetism and our energy to expand, and sometimes the matrix will call it spells. I'm not advocating spells, but it's energy. You are allowed to move energy, and there's a lot of people that are not healed, that are wounded, that are operating from ego, which isn't necessarily bad, but they are manipulative. They aren't helping culture. They are cultivating patterns that keep people disempowered, and patterns that keep people low confidence, or it's like that hierarchy out of greed and like, I'm better than you, superiority, all of that. We as starseeds and light workers need to cultivate that same confidence and allow our energy to expand, allow our magic to go out, and let people fall in love with us, because we know we have living with integrity and our gifts are needed in the world, and it's time to allow that to expand. We can still be humble in that, but you allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to talk about the benefits of your work, allowing yourself to talk about the values and what you offer, so that people actually know and can connect with it, and trusting yourself to do that from the heart, and not calling it sales or not calling it whatever it is that you're judging about it, but just allowing it to be as it is, and standing in the truth of that. That even if someone else takes it that way, you know that no, what I'm offering you is actually going to help you, and I'm going to stand confident in that. And that I actually know about this particular thing, say it's energy for me, for instance, and you don't, and I'm going to try to guide you, but also, again, I respect your free will choice if you want to work with me or not. But really coming into that energy and allowing your beautiful essence to expand out through connection to source, to be amplified through that connection to source, and allowing it to allow people to come to you, to love you, to maybe be obsessed with you, to just relish in your energy, and allowing yourself to be seen. Because a lot of us starseeds, we're coming out of a hermit mode where that's kind of uncomfortable for us, but really the world is calling us. It needs us to step into our light, to take up space, and to have capacity, but you have it with boundaries, that you know how to say no, you know how to say yes, and you're constantly connecting with your emotions and your feelings throughout the day, so that they're not overwhelming you, and that they're not controlling a situation and creating upset or disruption. And you can see right now the wounded human ego. So right now, I spoke about our ego, our operating system wants to stay in control. It wants to know what's coming. And some of us starseeds, that's a safety mechanism for us. We had really front-loaded our karma, so we had really traumatic childhoods or upbringings, or even just relationships. We've been betrayed a lot. We've been misunderstood a lot. And so we have a control mechanism in place around us where we want to kind of see what's going on and what's coming, but you're really letting go of that. You're really expanding, and you're really starting to glow even more and trust in divinity, because you're also seeing that in all those betrayals, in that darkness that you experienced, that you also were held, you were also guided, and everything was always working in your favor. And so this wounded human ego, all of these layers that are still left in us, because we are here having that human experience, is coming up to be healed right now. And so it's being experienced, again, this collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and it's timeless. But we're actually being so integrated right now that some of us are going through a full chakra alignment. So you might have a ton of spinal issues all the way down, all the chakras. That's going to depend on how much fractures you have in there. It's going to depend on the energy that needs to be cleared. Maybe you haven't done an energy clearing or exfoliation for a while, and all this kind of energy has been slothed off, like, you know, how like a snake would shed its skin, and you need someone to come in and help you, a brother or sister to come in and help you and clean that up. So know that that's work that I do, that I come clean up your energy field so you feel light and free and unburdened. And it helps to just kind of tweak all the work you've already been doing, and it helps to unify us in the web, the heart web and the creation web, and to lean on each other and help each other, because that's what we are supposed to do in building that starseed unified community of love. But yeah, that's something I do, and if you want, you can just email me. I'll have all the information in the description, and me and my team will book you within 48 hours. So just know that. But that's the chakra clearing that's going on right now. And some of you might just have a few chakras affected. Like me, like I said, it's kind of like my lower one. So I guess the root, the sex chakra would also be affected. And then the sacral and solar plexus are there. But I know, because I tuned in and this is the work I do, that mine is the sacral and the root predominantly, but it's still going to affect all of those. And it's really helping me to just remember who I am. No matter how the world responds to me, I'm deciding, because when I respond back and I don't react back, I am deciding my value, I am deciding my worth, and I'm staying strong in that. And even if someone misperceives through their emotions or their projections, eventually the truth is the truth is the truth. And when you stand strong in your own energy and you stay intact with your own integrity, that's going to prevail and win over the day, and it will repair the relationship later. But then what's also coming up is you can use Neville Goddard's techniques of revision as well. And so you can go back and you can rewrite some of your history, you can rewrite some of your experiences in the mental planes, in the spiritual planes, because what that's going to do is it's going to code a new future into your reality, and it's going to stop you from copy and pasting your past into the future. Okay? And this is High Priestess capacities. This is how you use your clairvoyant capacities. This is why we have a spiritual practice, and that's how it affects the physical. Sometimes to people that are maybe more normies or whatever you want to call them, I don't really care about labels, but like that aren't really cultivating their magic, maybe they're sleeping more. Sometimes they see spiritual practice like, what are you doing? You're sitting there, you're meditating, I'm exploring the astral realms, I'm astral traveling, I'm calling in all this energy, I'm calling in all this frequency. And then there's other people that are kind of a little further on their path, but they're still comparing their path or taking their path through matrix filters, and everything is kind of still going through the mental body instead of the embodiment of actually feeling and experiencing their spiritual practice. And this is also being called to stop, because they'll judge and see like, well, what am I going to do? Just sit there for a bit and meditate? Like that seems weird. Like it seems like I'm doing nothing. It seems like I'm doing nothing when I'm doing yoga, but I'm actually connecting to sacred coding, sacred geometry, and inherent healing capacities that my ancestors and all of our ancestors coded into these modalities and have left for us in the energetic realms. And we're also experiencing our guides, our angels, and we're downloading things that are specifically for us to manifest in the physical that will either help the rest of the collective, it'll help your bloodline, it'll help beings around you that might not have a voice. But it's time for us to get strong. What was it, like Matt Kahn a while ago? He was like, Care Bear Stare, 3, 2, 1. Like all the light workers need to come together, but we also need to be a little bit gangster. We also need to be strong enough to say no. We also need to be strong enough to not let other people take advantage of our capacities, and also in that, empower them to know that they can do it too, by not letting them take advantage, by not people pleasing, by not overdoing or overgiving, because we see people's strength and nature and we encourage that, we work with that, as well as put out our own gifts and do that support for ourselves. Now in the West, I would say a lot of people are really addicted to pain and suffering and to self-loathing, and that's another thing that's being cleared out right now that has no room on the path of where we're going. Do you think a cat hates itself? Like really? You know, like think about how confident a cat is, and like whatever animal that you love most, if you don't really like cats, like think about how confident they are. Even like a geese the other day, like they just all these strut, you know? So nature just knows who it is and it's confident in that, and that's what we're being called to do, because we've just been pushed down for so long. But there's been so many dark timelines healing, from religious timelines to religious persecution, witch burnings. There's just all these things that have been healing for us, and it's time to reclaim all that energy. It's time to reclaim our divine inheritance, our divine worth, and our divine value. Okay, and then this coming up again, the swans. So the swans could be in twin flames. You could be trying to call in love, and in that you're going to notice all the love that's around you right now, and it's going to just be so prevalent. And you might really be seeing a lot of signs that are like really like almost making you sad, I feel like, where it's like, oh, well, that's what I want, why do I keep seeing it everywhere, kind of that kind of energy. But like try to flip that over and be more powerful with it and be like, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, because that's signs that it's coming. And you're in the 11th hour where you're having the final test, where you're like, oh, I feel like I worked so hard, I'm so tired, like I thought it was going to come in by now, because the year of the fire horse. It is. These are the final tests. This is the final push. Do not give up. Don't you dare. And really use your psychic gifts in your transformation and energy. Transform. Remember that revision exercise, or you can do titration, where you bring any heavy energy up through your crown chakra and then back down through the earth. And you just keep doing that until it lightens and it purifies and it transmutes. Or sit for a moment wherever you are. Go take a moment by yourself to sit down and ask your soul, your higher self, how you should proceed next in the next steps of whatever you're doing. It takes a moment to do that. I can do that while I'm experiencing a conversation or in communion with other people, I don't even need to take the space anymore. And some of you might be as advanced as that, because this is talking to pretty advanced souls that have been going through it in the trenches, some of you for decades, doing all the work in the shadow work, knowing that you're here to heal your bloodline, listening to what creators told you, even if it didn't make sense to other people, even if it meant leaving jobs, even if it meant leaving relationship, even if it meant leaving behind things you really didn't want to and you really didn't understand why you're being asked to do that, but then later you really understood why that happened. Okay? And it's a really exciting energy because you're really letting go of fear. I just feel your lightning, and help is on the way, but it's upside down, so you're worrying about this. Like, help is on the way, but if you don't let go of fear, then you're not going to be able to see the help. If you don't let go of old entrenched patterns of like, maybe I don't deserve this, maybe I'm not worthy of this, like maybe it's not meant to happen for me because it hasn't happened yet, we won't see the help when it arrives. We won't be able to accept it or appreciate it or even think that we deserve it. Okay? And this is about changing your perceptions. And if you don't know how to change your perceptions, whatever you believe is a higher power, obviously I believe in, I call it everything, Allah, creator, love, God, but we come from unconditional love, and that unconditional love, universe, whatever you want to call it, it loves you, and you can literally surrender things to it. You can say, like, if you're hooked on a relationship that's kind of toxic, or you have people attacking you and you don't understand why and you're kind of ruminating about it, you can literally say, I release this to the Holy Spirit. You can imagine it, and imagine it being absorbed into beautiful golden healing light. You can also just surrender your mindset to your angels, your guides, that higher power. So I'll even say, like, creator, correct my mind, because this perspective is not serving me. I want an empowering perspective that puts me in alignment with where I'm going, what my purpose is, and what I need to focus on right now to be in alignment with my best path. And then that will help you release the burdens that you have going on in yourselves right now. And some of it, you might feel it, you might feel a heaviness and not be able to name it. And that's the chakra clearing, but it also could be your ancestral line clearing. It could be traumas that you kept and held for so long, but now you've created enough safety and structure and stability in your life that it's actually safe enough to come up and heal. And so just letting those things go. And even if you can't name it, you can say, like, creator, I don't know why this heaviness is there, but can you help me? Tone my mind, tone my actions. Let me just come in alignment with the highest guidance and the highest mentorship and the highest solutions for this issue, and change my whole mindset and perceptions around it. Okay. Okay, well, that was a quick one today. I think that might be it. Maybe we'll just pull one more card from the goddess deck and see if there's any higher beings working with you right now. Oh boy. Oh, so some of you are calling in love because we got the swan there, but the love you're calling in is going to come from your own interdependence and your embodiment of your authenticity, your ability to speak your boundaries, to speak your mind, to speak your standard, and call out the betterment in other people. Okay, also trusting your higher self, also trusting your higher psychic gifts, your higher capacities, your gut instinct about things. But true love is coming. Romance, and maybe you're just romanticizing your life right now, or maybe that's a call for you to do it. Like, I light candles at night because it just, the ambiance with my salt lamps is so beautiful. And just creating beauty in your life. And like, before I've been going to events, I've been like having a bath and like just taking care of my skin and dancing and like being in different frequencies and musics that brings out the pleasure and the beauty and the joy within me, truly, without me having to think about it. The things that actually make me experience that. And I've just been trying to romanticize everything. I've been trying to make it beautiful or fun for not just me, but for everyone around me, because that's my feminine matriarch nature coming out to embrace and embody love and expand my energy around everyone around me so that they can also experience their warmth, their joy, their love. It's like a reminder. We remind each other. Like I used to say in yoga, smile because you remind other people to smile. You release endorphins. So even just smiling is part of romanticizing your life, right? But true love's coming in for some of you too. Collective reading, it's a lot of energies coming through. Okay, expect miracles. You might already be seeing them arriving. Remember that help is on the way. The more that you release fears, and the more that, even if you're like, I don't know what's going on, I feel really scared right now, but you release that to creator, the more that your energy is going to just keep bringing in the best for you, because it's already said, it's already here. Your abundance is here. Your love is here. Your healing is here. It's done right now. You can let go of like focusing on it, because some of you might be forced to be doing that. Your spiritual practices might have been so aligned with discipline, and then lately they just felt so chaotic. You've almost felt maybe like lost, but you're not. And remember, the times that you felt the most lost or disconnected is actually the times you're most connected to creator. And I know that's hard to believe, but every time that I've forgotten that, creator has establish that in my mindset to know. And some of you are really healing from heartbreak and grief. And some of the grief is about the world. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on right now, and a lot of you are empaths that are really connected to Gaia. A lot of you like incarnated for that, and that's one of my spiritual gifts. So you're going to mirror. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You're going to mirror gifts that I have. And some of the stuff is just coming up from the planet to heal. The planet for the last 6 or 7 years, I remember waking up from a dream and just being like, oh, and like crying from the dream because the ocean, the earth, Gaia was just calling us because she couldn't hold the suffering anymore. And that was just like a few years before COVID, I believe. And it was like, that's when everything woke up. And it started to spread the load to light workers, and then more truth was able to come to the surface because there was more of us to hold it. It wasn't just a few of us holding the suffering, but literally the planet is trying to alchemize suffering so she can support us more in our capacity to expand more into our souls and expand more into our self-love and into our capacities and our gifts and our connection with the earth, so that we come back into homeostasis that supports the ecosystems that we were meant to have here, so that we can all thrive, we can all be fed, we all have proper basic needs covered without the greed and without the overculture of consumerism. And that might be coming through you and purging right now. But then also there's going to be levels of this, of like the betrayals that I talked about, and like the woundings that you experienced, not just in this life, but all the way through, and that maybe your even ancestor line will have experienced. They're all coming through to be healed right now. And like sometimes that can feel overwhelming, but again, if you partner with Creator, we're not meant to do this alone. Like if I was doing this alone, I wouldn't have these gifts and skills. Like Creator will sustain you. It will take the pain. It will take, like, Creator love will mend you. But we gotta ask, and we have to allow it because we have free will. Okay. And so flowers are really important to you. Being out in nature is really important. Having flowers around you, having essential oils, having just different, like I put flowers in my bath, or just planting flowers in the garden might be the season for you where you are. I know actual spring has just come, and for some of you this is energetic spring too. It's like where you are planting all these seeds, you're building those containers, you're building out your vision, you're really telling the universe what it is you want and how you're going to hold it for the universe so it can deliver it to you. Okay, well, I love you. I hope you enjoyed that reading. These readings are about soul activation and soul alignment. There's so many channels on YouTube that will give you like details about your ego and your love life and your future, and that's not really how my readings work. Like I do talk about future components that will best align when you connect with your soul. These are soul activations, and these are speaking about mostly the spiritual body and how you can integrate that through all the layers to live a better, healthier experience in all aspects of life, your career, your relationships, every part of your being, your health, right? Your wealth, your resources, and how you can just have more inner peace and harmony through your vessel and through your being by really understanding that we have hundreds of thousands of energies coming through us. How can you read them? How can you utilize them? How can you alchemize what needs to be alchemized to bring in more presence and power? So if you want to work with me, I will put, like I said, all my stuff in the description. You can email me and we will set you up within 48 hours. And all of my prices and everything will be down there as well. I love you so much. If no one's told you today, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing so good. I know that there's lone wolves that have found this reading, and Mother Mary is supporting us very deeply right now, any of you lone wolves. Those introverts that charge through introvert. And there's so many capacities for you to share your gifts and still be an introvert. Don't forget. Okay? Love you. Have a good day.